Welcome back to the show, folks. We are back with another DriveTime football update. This is the upper tier. I am your host, Niall. Do me a favour, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, of course, drop a like on the video, all that good stuff, all that good housekeeping. Just before we get into the show as well and start talking about stuff, let you know that we're back tonight, 8 o'clock, the Monday mashup, where we're going to be going through all the Premier League action from the weekend. Joining me as always, our resident referee, baby Elvis himself, Mark. So don't forget to join us for that. Always a fun show. Mark giving his thoughts both on some of the VAR decisions over the weekend and again football in general as well. And we'll discuss all the latest news as well and anything fresh that comes up and stuff like that. We'll also do a quick little preview as well for the Champions League and the Europa, all the European action as well. We'll gloss over that as well, give our thoughts on that as well. But let's get into this. Let's start Mason Greenwood. Two bits of information coming out there in relation to Mason Greenwood. Nike coming out again, distancing themselves from the player, saying that there's nothing there, they don't represent the player, blah blah blah, even though he's wearing the Nike boots and stuff like that, but there's nothing there. He is not a Nike athlete, all that kind of stuff. The other thing is he came on for Getafe there yesterday, I think it was, and he had to endure a lot of die chants from the Osasuna fans and stuff like that. So our thoughts last week was that he was probably going to be received over there fairly well. There was talk that he had broken the short sale record for Getafe and all that kind of stuff, but it seems not with the away fans. And as such, La Liga are going to be taking action against Osasuna, but they're also going to be bringing in they're going to be looking at that whole situation like what they did in the UK in relation to the hate chants and stuff like that, which I think is a really, really good move, and it's a proper move forward. Regardless of what your thoughts are in that situation, you know, die chance is not where it should be, you know. So that's my thoughts on Mason Greenwood. Liverpool look like they're about to announce 2 contract renewals. Trent Alexander-Arnold, who had links with Real Madrid, that boy ain't going anywhere. He's the captain of Liverpool in situ, if you like. And also Kostas Tsimikas, the backup left back for Robbo, both looking down, staring down the barrel of new contracts. Should be resolved fairly soon, but Liverpool on the verge of announcing them. Rio Ferdinand also reckons Harry Kane will have the bit between his teeth on Wednesday night to prove a point. Of course, Man United travelling over for a really tough game into the Bayern Arena against Bayern Munich. Going to be really, really tough. And of course, Harry Kane probably with a point to prove. Now, a lot of the news is going to be made up of Man United and Chelsea and kind of, but that's kind of where it's at and stuff like that. I did do a short on the channel giving De Zerbi his flowers and stuff like that. What a coach De Zerbi is, and what a setup Brighton have there at the moment. Just ride on it in every facet of their business at the moment. So absolutely brilliant. It is Roberto De Zerbi Day. So we said we'd mention that this was the day where he took over, where he became manager of Brighton and took over from Graham Potter, who went on to Chelsea, and we all know how that worked out. But interesting thoughts from Rio Ferdinand and stuff like that. Jeremy Doku, Man City. I have big thoughts on Man City at the moment, you know, as much as a lot of fans don't like them and stuff like that, the financial charges or allegations, all that kind of stuff and stuff like that, but you can't take away this boy. What a debut he had. He looks like he is going to tear up teams in the Premier League, no doubt about it. Absolutely sensational. Was brilliant the other day, and what a force they have now. Julian Alvarez the other day as well looked unbelievable as well. Haaland, of course, we know how good he is and stuff like that, but it's absolutely incredible the abundance of riches that Man City have. And I did make a bit of a call. Let us know your thoughts on this in the comments. Could you see Man City going invincible? They look right on it from minute one, don't they, at the moment, when you look at them and stuff like that. And normally they're slow starters in the league. Normally they will cough up a few points early on in the season. Maximum points so far this season. And they only get stronger and stronger and stronger. Me thinking for them to get weaker, it's going to take a number of injuries. It's going to be really, really difficult for any team to take points off them. They're so far ahead of everyone else. Let us know your thoughts. Jeremy Doku, what a player coming in. Young age, no bother. Pep yet, absolutely sensational. Arsenal with a big win at Goodison. It hasn't been a happy hunting ground there for a while. Kind of a frustrating game for them, as Everton kind of do this kind of thing. Everton looking so blunt. Ashley Young coming out saying that they should have got a point and stuff like that. Not a chance. Everton are absolutely blunt as can be. You know what I mean? You've Calvert-Lewin throwing his hands around and in frustration and all, and I'm there looking going, listen mate, you've milked that club for 2 years and you haven't kicked the ball. What are you throwing your hands around for? Go and work hard. You know, but really, really tough for everything at the moment. Tough times for them at the moment. Really, really struggling. Just doesn't seem to be any kind of... Yesterday, of course, they were up against a really, really good Arsenal side, but doesn't seem to be really any ambition for them to go out there and push forward and try and make things happen. Really, really struggled yesterday. And methinks those struggles are going to continue. The 777 takeover, if that goes ahead, reports coming in about a number of clubs that they also have invested in, stuff like that, absolutely falling asunder, either bottom of their leagues or getting relegated or whatever it is. So I don't think 777 is what you want going in there for a takeover. Mashiri obviously wants to get out of town with the wedge, but it's going to be a real struggle for Everton, absolutely no doubt about it. Mikel Arteta's been playing down the whole, hard to call it the dropping of Aaron Ramsdale, more the kind of wanting to take a look at Raya and stuff like that. He wants competition across the park. Most unusual in this area, a move like this to try and, you know, play one goalkeeper off the other to establish your number one. Normally it would be very clear cut that this keeper is your number one, this keeper is your number two, this is your Carabao Cup, FA Cup, whatever it is, this is your number one, this is your Prem and your Champions League. But it's an interesting move from Mikel Arteta, but goalkeepers are a different breed, you know, and you have to be really careful in that area as well, because dare I say, they're quite emotional characters, and you have to be really, really careful. And you know what he's trying to do is he's going to keep them both hungry and stuff like that, but I'd be really, really careful at a time where Arsenal's defence is exceptional. Saliba exceptional, Gabriel looks unbelievable, doing really, really well defensively and stuff like that, and it's a good sign. Even yesterday, keeping clean sheets is a good sign of a potentially championship winning side. So, you know, I wouldn't be messing around with that goalkeeper situation. I'd be very quickly trying to establish who's my number one and who's my number two. We know that Ramsdale at times has been a little bit nervous and all that kind of thing. David Raya looks quite commanding as well. But Darren has said it a number of times on the Thursday tier talk, you don't go out and pop 40 million or whatever it was, or 35 million, whatever it was, on a keeper, and he's not your number one, and Ramsdale's already there, and at a time where you needed other players to come in. But again, let us know your thoughts on that as well. What do you think of this whole playing one keeper off the other and trying it out and stuff like that? How does it sit with you Arsenal fans? Can you see what Arteta's trying to do, or would you be a little bit weary and a little bit nervous chopping and changing your goalkeeper? Not the ideal situation when your defence is performing so well. This is a weird one for me. We've listened, going back into United again. Sancho has been linked with a move to Barcelona potentially in January. But the weird one for me is this Bayern Munich link with Scott McTominay. And they were linked with him in the summer as well. Tuchel seems to be a fan of him. And they want to bring him into Bayern Munich. Now, I'm not too sure where he fits in there. Are they bringing him in to pad out the squad? Are they bringing him in, would he start in Bayern's midfield? I'm not too sure. But Bayern Munich obviously can see something in Scott McTominay that Man United can't. Let us know what you think they're seeing, because this is not the first time the boy has been linked with them. And safe to say, look, in the United situation, you know, it's very hard looking at that Brighton game the other day, and they talk about McTominay, he was kind of a little bit non-existent, stuff like that. But look, the whole midfield was a disaster. Casemiro was, you know, useless. Eriksen, useless. Bruno tried his best and stuff like that, but when 3 out of 4 ain't working, what are you going to do, you know? But let us know. McTominay again linked with a move to Bayern Munich, and that might be just what the lad needs and stuff like that. We've seen him for Scotland, where he plays really, really well. Now obviously it's a different system, and obviously it's a different position and stuff like that, but should Man United, should they be looking at that? Should they be taking something out of that and going, you know, at a time where money is tight, where FFP is on the charts and all that kind of stuff, is this the kind of thing they should be looking at and going, well, if Scotland utilise him there, could we utilise him there to get the best out of him? Or does he just not fit the Ten Hag position, the Ten Hag system? Let us know your thoughts on it anyway. Gary Neville. It's an interesting one with Gary Neville at the moment, isn't it? Because obviously when United, the narrative is always the Glazers. It's always the Glazers, and I get that and I understand it, where people are coming from, stuff like that. But then he's come out and it's an issue now with the manager bringing in his signings and, you know, what's his thoughts on those signings and all, and should the manager be allowed to just bring in the signings, or should there be more structure there to sound check these things and validate them, and due diligence and all, you know, that stuff we'll talk about it later on, the Anthony situation, stuff like that. But you know, in his mind he's thinking United should have brought in Rice and Kane, and look, that's definitely the case, there's no doubt about it, and if they could have got him, they would have got him. You know what I mean? I don't think Rice had any views on going anywhere bar Arsenal anyway. I don't think even if United came in from him, he would have changed his mind. City expressed an interest, he still went to Arsenal. Kane is kind of a different one. It would have taken a lot of money to get him out of there. I don't think Levy was open to him going to a Premier League team. So I think that the move to Bayern Munich suited Levy, got a big wedge of money for him and stuff like that entering in the last year of his contract. So I think what United to get Kane, they would have had to wait this year and get him at the end of this season, potentially on a free with a big signing on fee. So I don't think it's that clear cut. It's easy for Gary to say that, but I don't think it's that easy. I think it would take a lot to turn Rice's head to go to United when he had the move to Arsenal, and Arsenal on such a you know, an improving trajectory all the time with the potential of winning trophies and stuff like that, and a solid project there with Arteta, so it would have been really, really difficult. Poch has been talking about Michaela Mudryk. Again, Chelsea really, really struggling. Huge list of injuries, you know, a really, really young side that lacks that bit of experience in there at times. You know, obviously not having Reece James is huge. But Michaela Mudryk again yesterday against Bournemouth getting subbed off and stuff like that. And Poch has challenged Michaela Mudryk to go and develop a better understanding of the game, a better understanding of football and stuff like that. And I think a lot of that kind of rings true and stuff like that. We know how good Michaela Mudryk can be, but he's proven to struggle to show that at Chelsea at the moment, where there's a lot of pace and a lot of speed. There's a lack of ball knowledge when you arrive in the moment and stuff like that. And again, it's very hard to judge it, because you got to remember as well, it's all over the pitch with Chelsea at the moment. Jackson is struggling. Raheem, although he has started well, is struggling. You know, the whole team is struggling, you know what I mean? So, but he spoke on Michaela Mudryk, which was a big thing, you know. Big Rom getting on the score sheet yesterday for Roma in a convincing win. I think they won 7-0, or they put 7 past Empoli, I think it was. But Rom and Mourinho coming out again, reaffirming again that Romelu Lukaku just really needs to be loved, and you'll get the best out of him. So as long as he keeps on scoring, I'm sure those Roma fans will be absolutely delighted with him, and so will Mourinho. Because really, where else has he got to go? I mean, he's burnt his bridges basically everywhere else, you know. And let's do a little Anthony update here, you know. Often this is a subject that people don't want to touch, and it's obviously a tough one, and when there's allegations or potentially a case outstanding, it's not something that you necessarily want to talk about. But I think we should talk about this. Of the 3 allegations that are out there, one of them has been dropped. The girl has retracted her statement and stuff like that, so that allegation has been dropped. There's also been leaks that have gone out there in relation to phone call conversations between 2 girls, where they were trying to kind of, you know, portray or develop a situation there with Anthony. So no doubt a second one will be dropped. So that only leaves then the one with the girl Gabrielle, and Gabrielle, I think is her name, and stuff like that. And it's interesting to see how that goes. But it sounds like this is going to be resolved pretty quickly, and it sounds like most of these allegations look like they're going to be dropped. Again, on the last one, we're not too sure. But I presume from United's point of view, they're probably hoping that like Anthony can return to the team sooner rather than later. The talk is that it might be January. My thinking is it'll probably be resolved sooner than that. But it's good to see an update like that, and he has come out of the blocks to defend himself, and he has been presenting information and stuff like that. So we'll just have to wait and see how this all pans out. But that's the latest update on the lad. So potentially 2 of those allegations dropping away, just leaving a third, and then it just depends where that third one goes. So, but certainly Man United at the moment in absolute disarray all over the camp. A lot of people calling it a crisis. People going in hard today on Ten Hag and on Rashford. That these may potentially be the problem at the club and all, and it's just, we've read this story before. I did a short on it today, the red mist coming over Manchester and Ten Hag and stuff like that. It's just, we've seen this story before and it doesn't end good, but it doesn't really fix anything. And if you think about what we spoke about in the past in relation to Chelsea, that there was a collection of players there built up over 4, 5, 6 managers. So it's a mixed bag of a squad that's all being put in with different formations and different ideas and different thoughts from managers about how they want to play the game and stuff like that. So it doesn't necessarily niche and fit together and stuff like that. Ian spoke about it a number of times on the Chelsea Raw, how it's just a fragmented squad. And you're going to get the same at United, because what's happening at United as well is you have a certain amount of the squad that's Ten Hag, you have a certain amount of the squad that's Ollie, you have a certain amount of the squad that might be Mourinho, you have a certain amount of the squad that might be even Louis van Gaal, who knows. And this is the problem. The problem is you're getting a mixed bag of a squad that you can't mesh together, and until Ten Hag gets in that kind of nearly full team that he wants there, it's going to be a real struggle. But whether you take him out of the firing line and you were to change him and get another manager in, you're just adding to it again, because you still have, Lissandro's there, Malasia's there, Anthony's there, all these players he signed, Onana's there. There's so many players there now, Ten Hag, that the problem is if another manager comes in, they might not be the players that he wants. We've heard the talk today that, signing Onana might have been the problem, and not because it's Onana, but because the decision to change the goalkeeper, where David De Gea was there winning the Golden Glove, all this kind of thing. Now, whether the results might have been different, who knows? We can never tell. You can only surmise on that. But should that money, that 45 million that was there available, that was spent on Onana, should that have been spent somewhere else? And would they have been stronger that way if David De Gea was in goals and they had put another player into the squad, maybe in a key position, I don't know, maybe a DM or whatever it is, whoever else they want to put in there, or a finisher up front. So yeah, let us know your thoughts on that. Now, we will be back 8 o'clock tonight, the Monday mashup, myself and Mark as always. We'd love you to join us on that. Jump into the chat, let us know your thoughts. We're going to be reviewing the whole Premier League action from the weekend. We'll keep an eye on the Forest Burnley game, I think it is, and we'll give you all the latest update news and stuff like that. There'll be plenty of talk about Chelsea and United and everything else, but we'd love you to join us and give us your views. We're open to it all the time. It's not necessarily a closed shop. It's your community that makes the channel what it is and stuff like that, so we love to hear your thoughts on it. Until next time, folks, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, drop a like on the video, and we'll be back with you later on. Cheers.